Hello and welcome back everybody to F124 My Team Career Mode. This is episode number 7 as we are heading to the second sprint weekend of the calendar at Austria. We left off from a disappointing result at Spain where we tumbled out of the points. And as you can see, this is the effect it had on the championship. I kinda maybe wanted it.
High up in the mountains here at Spielberg, it's time for qualifying on what will be the fastest laps of the season. Stand by for qualifying at the Austrian Grand Prix.
I kinda wanted that championship table to stay there for a little bit longer, but I guess I had other thoughts. But yeah, that puts us, that result in the previous weekend put us 7th in the drivers' standings and 5th, I believe, in the Constructors' Championship. I mean, I'm pretty much a one-man team at this stage of our F1 My Team career save because we have a very inexperienced driver in Arthur Leclerc, but then hopefully in the future he can probably get himself into the points at least for one race in this season, just have a point or two scored for himself. But I'm not expecting much from him. He is a new teammate, a new driver in F1. He's a rookie, so I didn't expect much coming from him. But yeah, other than that, we are in our sprint qualifying, so mediums for the first two sessions in this qualifying setting. So one tire for each session, so we have to make these laps count before the tire grip drops off. And as you can see at the exit of that first corner, we gain a little bit of time, around almost 3/4 of a tenth. Does that even make sense? But by the time we reach the final two corners of the fastest lap on the calendar, we are about 2.5 tenths up on our time, and that should be good enough to send us into SQ2. We are currently 6th fastest in that session, which is promising, as we're only 3 tenths behind the fastest driver, Max Verstappen, who set a 106.0. And unfortunately, again, our teammate doesn't make it through into SQ2, so he is out of qualifying for the sprint race on Saturday. SQ2, brand new mediums. Once again, it's only one set per session, so we have to make these laps count. And I believe rain is also on the way, so whether it will be in this session or the SQ3 session, then we just have to work our way around it, as a pretty decent exit out the turn 1. We do have some gearbox wear, but shouldn't be an issue once we get this weekend done. So hopefully no gearbox problems throughout the weekend, and hopefully the gearbox holds out for us during this weekend. Yes, so we're gonna start our second lap as we are pushed down to P11, as race engineer has just mentioned, and we need a strong lap to get us into SQ3 hopefully. I believe we didn't make it into SQ3 the first time in China. No, we did. Or did we? I don't remember. It's been a long time since that video has come out. So, purple first sector. Now that's a very strong start to our lap, and we are about 1.5 tenths up. But we're losing time in turns 6, 7. And by the time we reach turns 9 and 10, we are 2 tenths and a half up on our previous lap time, and hopefully that is enough. 3 tenths now. It was almost 4 tenths up on our previous time. Can we make it into SQ3? yes, we have made it into SQ3. I don't know if it's the first or second time, but that was a good lap from us near the end of our second flying run, which was enough to send us into SQ3. Lando Norris tops the timing charts, first, or one of two drivers to make it into the 105s, and we have the soft tires for this session, so now it is time to see how fast we can go on brand new softs. What's the fastest time we can set? Now there's a huge difference between the mediums and the softs, so there could be a chance where we are pretty rapid with the medium tires but not as quick with the soft tires compared to our rivals, our competitors who are with us in this session, as Alonso now sets the fastest time, 106.1, and we are rounding now the end of the second sector, 3/10 down on Alonso, who is now dropped down to 6th place, and we are now heading to the final two corners, bringing in a lot of speed on entry, hoping to just make up any time we can that we lost in the second sector, and a 106.8. So as you can see over there, we were a bit slower than our time in SQ2, meaning we have a lot of time to gain on these used softs. Now they're pretty worn out for soft tires, I believe, so we're gonna try our best to make up some time in the corners, as that's probably the only chance we can get in getting a good lap. Decent exit, still down on our previous time by half a tenth, as we are heading up the hill around turn 2, which is just a kink. It's flat out going into turn 3 now, braking, hitting the apex, barely missing it there, but we are now 3/10 up, so we messed up turn 3 probably in our first run, which cost us some time. And now down into turn 4, we are still gaining time on entry, but can we keep it up on the exit? Yes, we can, as we are now half a second up on our previous time. Still, we need more pace around this lap to get a decent qualifying result, and we are now down on our time. We're losing a little bit of time at the exit of turn 7, and currently sitting in 10th place. So how well can we improve on our previous run is the important question that we need to ask over here, right on the cusp of track limits, and we cross the line and we are in P10. So we're gonna start the race in 10th, and like I said, the softs, it's different compared to the mediums. So yeah, there's the difference that you can see over there.
It's wet here today, and we're expecting those downpours to continue. This will make for a difficult sprint for all the teams. It's a short lap here in Spielberg with just 10 corners, 7 to the right and 3 to the left, making up the total distance of 2.6 miles. And expect to see a lot of cars running wide today, especially through the last corner, as the wet conditions make the cars skittish through the downhill sections. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and Lando Norris lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Oscar Piastri, Verstappen, Hamilton, Perez, Russell, Fernando Alonso, Sainz, the owner driver, Gasly, Stroll, Albon, Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Ocon, Hülkenberg, Magnussen, Joe, Bottas, Sargent, and Arthur Leclerc. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out.
Alright, so it's a wet race, or a wet sprint. So full wets for the sprint now. Historically, we were not great in the wet in the previous game, F1 23. But hopefully we improved over time. I wouldn't say hopefully, I know that we improved over time in the wet, but there's still a few things to work on in terms of wet weather conditions such as this. This is extreme wet. So, I mean, the good thing about this is that we don't have to warm up our tires as much. But starting from 10th, we still have a good chance of scoring a point or two, as we are preparing now to go racing in this sprint, an 8-lap race, no pit stops and 5 red lights. It's Leclerc on pole position for the sprint. It's lights out and away we go as Leclerc gets a good start. Piastri gets a jump on his teammate as they're now going alongside into turn 1. You can barely see anything in that spray as we drop down to P11 over here. We were kind of pushed off the track and we dropped 2 positions. We're now currently behind Lance Stroll, who is the car ahead, but with the slipstream we're gonna get up alongside him going up into turn 3 as we make a move around the outside of Lance Stroll. It is so hard to see anything from this view, but it was a bit better in the car. Like when I was racing I could see a little bit more as we try to make a move down the inside, making contact over there with Pierre Gasly as we overshoot our braking point, but we still managed to make it out of there unscathed. We are still side by side with the Alpine going around turn 6 and 7, but we drop behind by the end of the second sector, and that puts us position down from the start. We have a little bit of damage on the side pods. Maybe that's just visual, I'm not sure if it actually is damage, but we kind of mess up the line over there, and that gives Alex Albon a chance to maybe make a move down the inside of turn 9, but we managed to hold him off. And up into the second lap, turn 3, we make a move down the inside of Pierre Gasly. He got better traction out the exit over there as we are still trying to gain control of our car. It's so hard to put down the power, but we managed to get the car straightened up, and now down the inside of turn 4 we make a move as we make our way up into P10. Carlos Sainz at this point has just freed himself from this battle that we are having now with Pierre Gasly, as we are kind of holding up the rest of the field over here with how slow we're going. But I mean, again, I'm not that great in the wet, so I'm trying to just keep the car on the black stuff and avoiding a spin, as we're just trying to wrestle our car into going into a straight line. This is like a pretty tough thing to do when you're just, like, I don't know, relatively new to driving with no traction, no assists. So it is pretty hard to keep the car going in a straight line when you're just like starting off with a new handling model. As you can see over there, we're basically just sliding around, and that gives Gasly a good chance going into turn 9 to make a move down the inside. He goes as he makes his way up into P10. We're gonna fight him all the way up into turn 1 as we're gonna get in his slipstream and try to make a move around the outside, possibly. Yes, we are going to make a move around the outside of Pierre Gasly, and smoothly done as well, considering where we are. And you can hear those tires screeching a little bit over there under braking. And Gasly once again around our outside. He is going to try to make a move. He is going to switch back on us, probably. Yes, he does. And we are going to keep it within track limits, and once again Gasly makes a move down the inside of turn 9, down the inside of turn 10 as he performed the switchback maneuver. Alex Albon also had a look at us from the inside, but we managed to outpace him going into turn 1. And now the goal again once again is to make it past Pierre Gasly now down the inside of turn 3, and we make the move very well. Kind of pushed him off the track a little bit there, and that left him vulnerable to Alex Albon, who is taking his chance with a move down the inside of turn 4. Now, is he gonna make a move? Can we see? Maybe. Come on. Yes, he's still ahead. He's just a nose ahead of Alex Albon, but Pierre Gasly. but into turn 5, Gasly is going to hold his position just as we are now on lap 5, not in lap 5. That's doesn't make sense. On lap 5, in 10th place, and that's pretty much all the action we're gonna get from the sprint race for now, as we have qualifying and the main race left to do. But Charles Leclerc from pole position has led every lap of this race and is going to cross the line in a minute to win the sprint race in Austria, and that cuts down Verstappen's championship lead by 4 points. So a pretty good result for Charles Leclerc in the championship, as he makes his way up the order, or gets himself closer to Verstappen in the championship. We are gonna cross the line to finish in P10, a decent result, I would say. We started P10, finished P10, a nice little scrap with Albon and Gasly, but I expected a little bit more.
The sprint race, but there's still more action yet to come this weekend. We've got qualifying and, of course, the Grand Prix.
Alright, yeah, so this is what that sprint has done to the championship standings. Once again, Leclerc is closer to Verstappen by 4 points, as he won the sprint race. And right now we're gonna change our gearbox. We are now out of Parc Ferme, which gives us the opportunity to change parts freely. So no penalty for us as a result. And it is still raining in the Austrian Alps, as we are beginning our first run in qualifying on the intermediate. So the rain has let up a little bit, as that weight has caused us to it gave us pretty much a free open track where we can maximize the potential of our lap, as we set 2 purple sectors so far. So the track looks like it is drying up a little bit, as we are gaining on the other drivers who have already went on their flying laps, and this should put us at the top of the time charts, but still not safe, as the track is evolving with time. And currently Inters are still the best tire. Obviously it's still like damp, but once again the track conditions are improving, so we definitely have to go on a second run. It looks like a Red Bull and a McLaren, I'm assuming Norris and Verstappen, feel like they are safe from being knocked out, but I just went out just in case something unexpected happens, as we are slowly dropping down the order. Piastri and Hamilton have finished their laps ahead of us, and we are on a decent lap ourselves, a second faster than Oscar Piastri by the end of the second sector. And we have more rain coming in the next 10 minutes, as we're gonna round the final corner a second and a half up almost on our previous time, which should be enough to take us into Q2, as the track looks dry now, but as our race engineer has just said, there is gonna be more rain coming in the next 10 minutes, which should be after this soft tire run. So we have to basically nail this lap to make it into Q3 before the rain arrives, as we make a good exit out of turn 1 and up into turn 3 we go. A decent first sector, 16.2. We missed the apex a little bit over there, as we're now finishing the second sector 8 tenths up on Alex Albon by the time we end our second sector of the lap. Now going into turns 9 and 10, very fast right-handers, and very easy to mess up, is it? I don't know, but that should be enough to put us into P4 that lap. as the rain has started to come down, so that means we are safe, barely safe,
The rain's going to
as
keep
we're gonna,
getting heavier for
yeah.
the next 15 minutes at least. Okay, dry
So
seat
we
on
were,
the best tyre for now.
so we were the driver at risk, but with the rain coming just in time to save us from being knocked out, potentially, as another wet weather affected qualifying session. Now we're gonna probably head out on inters, as you can see. Yes, we are on the intermediate tires as we let the tail of our car what's the word? I don't freaking know. Like we performed a power slide, or is that a drift? I don't know, but it doesn't matter. We are in Q3 and it is wet weather affected. Now we had the other drivers get out and do their laps, but I think that's gonna prove to be a bit detrimental to us as the rain is getting worse, so our lap time could be affected as a result. And we're just about faster than Oscar Piastri at the end. By the end of the first sector, about almost a tenth up on Oscar Piastri. So far it doesn't look like the rain has affected the track that much to the point where our lap time could be like irrelevant compared to the other drivers' laps. But we're gonna see by the end of sector 2 how bad our time waiting in the pits was. It's not as bad. We're still up on Piastri, I think, as we're now gonna round the final 2 corners to set a lap time, and probably our only lap in this session. There's a few mess ups here and there that could cost us a little bit of time as we cross the line, and we are in P8. So that's how the grid order will look like. Carlos Sainz is going to be on pole position, alongside him Lewis Hamilton and Leclerc in third.
This is it then, race day in Spielberg for this year's Austrian Grand Prix. Not long to go before our drivers hurtle off the line and into the first turn, the Niki Lauda curve. It was renamed in 2019 in memory of one of Formula One's most beloved figures. It's one of the shortest laps on the calendar today then, with 7 rights and just 3 lefts, making up the 10 corners of this high-speed circuit. Turn 2 is barely a corner at all. They'll be flat out through there, a left-hand kink into the uphill braking zone of turn 3. Turns 1, 3 and 4 are all potential opportunities to overtake. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. An immense lap from Carlos Sainz yesterday puts him in pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Russell, Fernando Alonso, Oscar Piastri, Perez, the owner driver, Ricciardo, Stroll, Gasly, Magnussen, Bottas, Ocon, Tsunoda, Albon, Hülkenberg, Sargent, Norris, Leclerc, Joe, and Max Verstappen completes the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race.
Alright, so that's a bit of a surprise that Verstappen, I actually didn't notice this, Verstappen was knocked out in Q1 and is lining up at the back of the grid. But regardless, we are going for a similar strategy to everyone else who is starting on the mediums. So medium to hard strategy for this race, and a good chance to score a good haul of points to get ourselves back up and running consistently in the points. Hopefully we can start getting some consistency with these races. Now, starting from 8th place, we have a good chance of jumping Perez off the line and making a move into turn 1 as we line up decently for the race.
Okay, so that's the rest of the grid forming up now. Be patient and watch for those lights.
As we have 5 red lights for the Austrian Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go. Carlos Sainz gets a very good start and is trying to cover off Lewis Hamilton already going to turn 1 as we try to make a move down the inside. Oh my god, what the hell is that? Down the inside. We cut the corner completely over there. Uncalled for. I mean, I didn't get any warning from the FIA. It seems as once again we cut the corner. Alright, so already we are in hot water with the FIA about cutting these corners and creating shortcuts through them. But up to P6 we go. I'm still questioning my decisions about cutting the corner. I don't know why I did that. Well, either way, we got the jump on Perez and Piastri, and Russell is the next car ahead up in P5 as we are getting close to the end of the first lap, as now we're gonna try and close the gap between us and George Russell, which is a pretty alright gap. I think it will be around like 7 tenths difference, but we end lap 1. Yeah, 7 tenths, I was right. So we're gonna get DRS on this second straight, but a bad exit gives Russell a chance to pull ahead by a little bit, as we're gonna start closing that gap down. And near by the end of the second sector, who's that? Piastri had a look down the inside over there of turn 5 as we get on the gravel and get out of shape, and that gives Piastri the opportunity to go around the outside, but we're gonna hold it down the inside of turn 9 and hold our position up in P6. Lap 4 now, we have a huge lockup for one of the cars ahead of us as we manage to close the gap down to George Russell by lap 4, and with DRS we should be able to try and make a move. We're going to use the DRS round the outside. We're going to try, as we're going to make the move on Russell. Sainz as well got caught in this battle as we move all the way up into P3 alongside Alonso for this battle, as we're going to make a move once again round the outside of Lewis Hamilton, but Hamilton covers it off very well and maintains his place in second as we're slowly making our way through the field. There's only 2 drivers left if we want to win this race, and we have not much left in the battery. We've been using that ERS a lot. Almost getting or making contact with Lewis Hamilton over there. We took avoiding action by running wide into turn 3, and we make a move down the inside. That was a bit of a dive bomb from us, and that probably gives Hamilton the chance to switch back at us, but he didn't manage to get the grip out the exit of turn 4 to help him get alongside us. And we are doing very well for ourselves as we overshoot the corner over there and end up off the track, and that also means that Lewis Hamilton has a chance to make a move, and he goes around the outside, but we get back at him going into turn 3, but he goes down the inside of the exit of turn 3 and takes back second place. But we have another chance over here without DRS, because Hamilton had the DRS as we were ahead going into turn 3, almost like into the detection point, but we're gonna fight Hamilton the whole way through turn 5 and 6, and Alonso manages to squeeze through and take third place away from Lewis Hamilton, and that scrap has led to us dropping behind Charles Leclerc by around 3.5 tenths. We were so we basically lost around 2 seconds in that battle for second place. Now Alonso with DRS is gonna try to go. Sorry, I just stuttered. My brain literally just froze We try to make a move down the inside of turn 3 after Alonso has taken the place from us, and now with DRS we're going to have a chance going down into turn 4, one of the 3 overtaking spots on this track, the realistic overtaking spots. We try to look for a move around the outside, but not enough grip to make that possible. And now round the final corner, we're gonna probably so Hamilton apparently was lapping a second a lap faster than us, which is not nice, but I mean we managed to keep him behind because thanks to Alonso's DRS as we make a move down the inside of turn 3. That was from very far back, but Alonso manages to get good exit out of the corner and maintains second place, but we have a second dose of DRS going into turn 4. Down the inside we go, a little bit of late braking over there, and Alonso performs a switchback maneuver as we are still behind him. This is a very fierce battle for second place. As you can see over here, Alonso is still ahead of us going towards the final 2 corners of this track, and Hamilton is pretty close behind, so a mistake could mean that he could also have a chance at overtaking us. So no mistakes allowed from us as we have once again DRS on Fernando Alonso, and we're gonna try to get past him as this is having a negative effect on our tires in the corners, meaning we're gonna have to use a lot more of our tire grip compared to Alonso, who's in clean air, and we go around the outside of the corner of Alonso, sorry, as we make it up into P2, but Alonso has DRS. We get on the grass a little bit over there, probably got distracted by something happening while I was racing, but yeah, we are boxing in this lap as well as Leclerc, Alonso and Hamilton heading into the pits for their pit stops. Now we need a very good stop over here to maintain our position in second place as the hard tires are coming on, but we seem to have an issue with the front right, as now we are gonna end up behind Alonso and Hamilton. That cost us a lot of time, and that means we're gonna have to work our way back into the podium positions. It is a bit disappointing, but hopefully with time we can upgrade our pit equipment in the is it the facilities page, but yeah, now it's just all about getting temperature into the tires, and that's a bit laggy from my side, I don't know why. But yeah, Piastri ends up ahead of us after the first and only round of pit stops, meaning we lost about 5 positions heading into the pits or exiting the pits. Net 5 positions lost, as there's a fierce battle going on for second place between the 2 Mercedes and Alonso, as Verstappen is in P18, so not a very good race or not a good weekend for him overall, as Leclerc has the chance to, and he is actually, after this race, as of now, he is gonna be leading the championship by the end of this race. Now lap 16, we have Carlos Sainz ahead, and we got DRS on him, a bit of oversteer exiting the first corner, as we're gonna try to make a move into turn 3 on Carlos Sainz. Down the inside we go on 2 cars. We get George Russell down the inside as well, but a bit optimistic from us, but we managed to get the overtake done on Carlos Sainz, and now we're gonna make a move possibly onto George Russell. We make contact, flipping out, we make contact over there, almost lost control of our car, but we managed to save it and live to race another lap, as once again this time it's the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton ahead of us on lap 19, so we skipped I think 2 laps, no action, as we make contact, almost getting into the back of Lewis Hamilton's car, and making contact, almost losing our front wing over there, but we managed to keep our nose clean, and we are looking for a move around the outside off turn 3 on Lewis Hamilton, and we make the move stick, but a little bit of oversteer on the exit of turn 3, or maybe a snap. Our car snapped on us, but nothing to worry about, as we try to get the braking done into turn 4 and follow Alonso into this high speed left-hander. Now lap 20, we have Alonso ahead of us in P3, who has dropped down a little bit behind Russell as he locks up going into turn 3, and that gives us the opportunity to close down on him, as we're gonna probably make a move going into turn 4 on Alonso. Alonso goes defensive on the inside. We're gonna try to go around the outside, and Alonso holds on, and no, he doesn't hold on. We managed to get the exit speed on him and managed to make our way up into P3. Now Russell is the next car up ahead. Leclerc at this point is just pissed off in the he's buggered off basically. Look at the gap, the 10-second gap, which we won't be able to close down in the next 5 laps. So the best result we can possibly get is P2, and that depends if we manage to overtake George Russell in the next 4 laps, as down the first DRS straight we managed to close the gap up to less than half a second. And up going into turn 3, are we gonna make a move on George Russell? He goes defensive down the inside. We're gonna go around the outside and hopefully get a good exit out of that corner, as we manage to get the exit, and up into second place we go. Now George Russell still has a chance going into turn 4. Is he gonna make a move? No, he stays top behind our car, and overall that's a very nice recovery after that poor pit stop. So back up into P2 we go, and realistically I think we had the pace to probably win this race, but unfortunately with that pit stop it kind of ruined our plans a little bit. But still a chance for George Russell to close the gap down. Does he have DRS on us? He doesn't look like he has DRS on us. We built up a huge enough gap. He has DRS down this straight, but I don't think anything will be possible for George Russell. I mean, he is closing the gap down very significantly, and that means he does have a chance possibly into turn 4 to take away second place from us, and he is closing the gap down. Is he gonna make a move? No, he does not make a move into turn 4. We maintain our position in second place, excuse me, as we're gonna now round turn 6, I think that was 6, 7, 8, yes, 6 and 7 into 8, as we see Charles Leclerc rounding the final corner in the top right and crosses the line to win the Austrian Grand Prix. Now that means he will be leading the championship after this race. We crossed the line to take a second podium this season. A very good result, very good recovery after that poor result in Spain, and hopefully this is a sign for us that we're gonna have a better season up ahead.
Go for Charles Leclerc as he takes the checkered flag and wins.
And it's always good, Crofty, to get that momentum on your side, and it's really good for your confidence as well. The more confident you are, the further that can take you.
And here we are, a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today, and a stunning win for Ferrari. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action, and I can't wait to see what's next.
So that result brings Charles Leclerc to the top of the driver standings and closes the gap between Red Bull and Ferrari to 6 points in the Constructors' Championship. But thank you guys so much for watching this video till the end. I know these sprint weekend videos are long, but yeah, bear with me. Anyway, follow me on Instagram if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day.